Hi, I'm Michelle, Director of Educational Content and Programs at Shape America. And if you want to learn more about health and physical education, you're going to love Toy Talk Tuesdays. And I'm not talking about these kinds of toys. I'm talking about Teachers of the Year. Shape America Teachers of the Year represent the best adapted physical education, dance, health, and physical education teachers in the United States, and you get to hear directly from them. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and be sure to comment below with the tips and resources you want to hear about most. If you're interested in learning about how to become a Shape America Teacher of the Year, just make sure to click the link right here below. Thanks so much for watching.
Hello, and welcome to Toy Talk Tuesday. My name is Julie Frank. I'm the Executive Director at Spark, and I'm delighted to serve as today's host. Toy Talk Tuesday is a bi-weekly series of interviews about topics in health and physical education with Shape America's National and District Teachers of the Year. I'm excited to be back with Christine and Ashley for today's segment, Part 2, Tips for Teaching Dance Education on-site with physical distancing and within a virtual setting, their reflections and lessons learned since back to school. I will give them each an opportunity to briefly introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Christine Kiernan Fisher. I am the 2020 National and Southern District Dance Education Teacher of the Year here in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I teach middle school at Eastern Guilford Middle.
And my name is Ashley Gross. I'm your 2020 Central District Dance Teacher of the Year. And I am coming from Wichita, Kansas at Woodman Elementary, where I teach kindergarten through 5th grade physical education and dance.
As members of the Shape America Teacher of the Year community, you have a unique platform to share your expertise, talents, and leadership with health and physical education teachers across the country. We are so proud of your accomplishments and appreciate you participating today. To start us off, I'll pose the question to both of you to share out, how is teaching dance education the same or different since the school year started? Please share your reflections and lessons learned, plus any new tips with the health and PE community. I'll pass it over to you, Christine.
So one of the goals that I had back in the fall and even really tracking back to last spring was to try my hardest to, it's funny to say normal, but to keep things as normal as possible, even though we were meeting on a computer. So it was really important to me that the kids step away from their computer screen and move their bodies. Whether it was a small space or a large space, we were going to do what we could with the space that we had. So that's one thing that I implemented when we went to remote learning. I didn't shift to doing like, let's talk about dance history or something that was more academic, because they had such intense screen time for virtual learning. I want them to get away from the screen every moment possible. So that's one thing that I kept in place during remote learning. And another thing that has made it an easier transition, I believe, now that they're back in the building, because they have that routine established, and we follow the same procedures and the same routine that we've been doing online in the building, because we kept ourselves moving. And that's been the most important thing to me. And I think it's what the students have enjoyed the most, especially now that they don't change classrooms. So we've only been back in the building for 4 weeks, and that's been a staggered implementation. So eighth graders just came back last week. And they don't move rooms except for when they come to their dance, PE, and other electives. So they're in the same room, in the same desk all day. So by the time they get to us, they are so grateful and so thankful for a chance to move. And that's been really rewarding and nice to see.
And for me, at the K-5 level, touching on very similar to what Christine said about, we're like the one time that the kids kind of get away from the screen time. So making sure that we take every opportunity to get them up and moving and doing some stuff kind of on their own away from the screen. And I found that, having a set routine in place for the kids that are online, just like the kids that would be there present, is something that was very much so needed. Because the kids online would constantly ask, what are we doing now? What are we doing next? So establishing that set routine for them so that they have a routine at home as well. I talked in the fall a lot about the social emotional learning and how it was going to be really hard for these kids to come back after being gone for so long. And that's one thing that I've really seen this year, because I've been teaching both in person and online this whole year. And with both groups, I've had to be really, really strict on expectations. I've had to review expectations a lot. With the elementary kids, I've had to practice a lot with them just because it's been a while. And so every time we have flip-flopped between remote and in person, I've had to take that time, kind of like the beginning of the school year, to practice all those expectations again. Because that's something I found that the kids really, really needed. Even though they'd had it, that little break, we had to review it. And then another thing for me is, back in September, I was not able to teach in my classroom. All of the specials and electives had to either go to the kids' teacher's homeroom, or we had to take them outside. And lo and behold, it's March and I'm still in that situation. So I've really had to be creative this year with how do I have a classroom outside, and how do I teach my curriculum in a cramped classroom with desks and obstacles. So that's been a big thing I've had to work around on, getting the kids activity while factoring in that safety.
Thank you for sharing. On behalf of Shape America and the Shape America Teacher of the Year Partner Network, thank you, Christine and Ashley, for sharing your reflections and lessons learned since back to school. Be sure to visit shapeamerica.org to check out our bi-weekly Toy Talk Tuesday segments for more great resources from our Shape America Teacher of the Year community. Watch at Shape_America, at SparkPhysEd, at Gopher Sport, at Welltrain_CO, and at GW Publisher to share ideas for future Toy Talk Tuesday segments and themes. And as always, any questions you may have for our Shape America Teachers of the Year. Have a healthy and active day.
Oh.